Tonight, let's send it over to the PA announcer, Gene Honda.
And now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's matchup between the Kansas Jayhawks and the Duke Blue Devils. And guard for Kansas.
Warriors.
And guard for Kansas, a 5'11" junior from Worcester, Massachusetts, number 10, Nadir Tharp. At guard for Duke, a 6'2" junior from Washington, D.C., number 2, Quinn Cook. At guard for Kansas, a 6'5" freshman from Roxbury, Massachusetts, number 1, Wayne Selden. At guard for Duke, a 6'2" senior from Washington, D.C., number 3, Tyler Thornton. At forward for Kansas, a 6'8" freshman from Vaughan, Ontario, Canada, number 22, Andrew Wiggins. At forward for Duke, a 6'8" sophomore from Meridian, Mississippi, number 5, Rodney Hood. At forward for Kansas, a 6'9" senior from Memphis, Tennessee, number 25, Tarek Black. At forward for Duke, a 6'9" sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, number 21, Emil Jefferson. At forward for Kansas, a 6'8" sophomore from Wichita, Kansas, number 34, Perry Ellis. And at forward for Duke, a 6'8" freshman from Chicago, Illinois, number 1, Jabari Parker. The head coach for Kansas is Bill Self.
So there you have it, the starting lineups for the coaches tonight, Bill Self and Mike Krzyzewski. For more on tonight's second game, let's go back to Andy Katz.
Well, if you're looking for Jabari Parker to have any kind of nerves tonight, you'll be sorely disappointed. According to his parents, Sonny and Lola, and his brother Christian, who are here at the United Center, they said Jabari Parker has always been about team first and an individual. They don't think he'll have any jitters going into this building. Remember, he played here one time before in the McDonald's game. He's been in this building many times growing up in Chicago, averaging about 6 Bulls games a year when he could get here. So the family expects a very grounded Jabari Parker, the kind of kid that they've raised.
A very complete player, too. You saw his numbers from last year at Simeon Academy. On the other side, Andrew Wiggins is a guy who might do more spectacular things, might just wow you with his athleticism. But is he as complete, as developed, as far along right now as Jabari Parker? No matter how you slice it, these are two of the absolutely most talented young players that we will see in college basketball this year.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, Dan. You saw a great one, though, with the kid Randall. People rate those two, plus Randall, as 3 of the best. And people have to better take a look at the kid down in Arizona as well, the kid Gordon.
Aaron Gordon, yep.
Tremendous talent.
Kansas in blue, Duke in white. As the second game of the State Farm Champions Classic is ready to go. Our officials tonight, Mike Stewart, Brian Kersey, and Ray Natili. And we are underway, but it is out of bounds, and it'll be Kansas ball.
Both clubs very athletic, can get up and down the floor. Duke had a superb performance against Davidson, shot 70%. And that's not Cupcake City. A Bob McKillop club is so well coached.
How about a great matchup as Wiggins initially is going to be guarded by Rodney Hood, the transfer from Mississippi State. Hood is 6'8", 215. He's every bit as big as Wiggins and just about as athletic. That'll be a matchup to keep an eye on.
He did a great job down at Mississippi State, but they love him here at Duke. Mike Krzyzewski told me, he said our team is going to go around certainly Parker and Hood.
Wiggins misses the jumper and the rebound down to Parker.
That's the one thing people talk about. Can be streaky shooting the basketball. Bill Self told me, though, he shoots it better than what he anticipated.
Parker the miss, tapped back out. Jefferson underneath the basket. And he'll go to the free throw line looking for a three-point play.
He's a very key player for them. They don't have a lot of size inside. They really lack a true post player. But Jefferson, his athleticism, quickness, he should get a chance to play a lot of minutes.
Well, they're such a different team from a year ago. As you look at Duke last year with Plumlee and Kelly and, of course, Curry in the backcourt, they're not as big, they're younger, but they're probably a more athletic, definitely a more athletic team this year.
Yeah, they're going to run a lot more. They're going to pressure. They're going to try to force turnovers, create a lot of really at the tempo their way to play up and down the court.
Rashid Suleiman, by the way, not starting again for Duke. He had 20 off the bench in their win over Davidson to begin the regular season. Tyler Thornton is playing very well. A great leader, earns the start for the second game in a row for Mike Krzyzewski.
I mean, pretty good when you can go to your bench against Suleiman. I think there's a lot of clubs in America. He'd be the #1 player.
Well, what a number the Blue Devils did on Davidson, winning 111-77. Had 4 players with at least 20 points.
Shot 70% as a team. And that's against a quality basketball team that's well coached.
That's Wayne Selden Jr., a freshman from Roxbury, Mass., who misses the 3. It's a young Kansas team. Wiggins is not the only freshman who will see a lot of playing time.
Wait, on Selden rated very high. Archad Ford has him in the top 13 in America in terms of rating for the NBA draft. Power guy, physical.
Thornton commits the foul. Let's take a look now at tonight's Sonic Showdown. And Kansas outstanding defensively a year ago, but keep in mind they've lost all 5 starters from last year. This is basically a brand new team. Duke didn't run a whole lot last year, but as we mentioned, they intend to run a lot more this year.
You know why they were #1 field goal percentage? One of the key reasons, they had the anchor back there blocking shots. Jeff Withey. He came 1 block shot away from breaking a record of Tim Duncan.
Nadir Tharp at the point for Kansas. Off the glass, no good. Loose ball. And Thornton is fouled by Tharp. Or not by Tharp. Well, who do they give it to? I believe maybe it was on Ellis. So the second team foul committed here in the early going by Kansas. Duke with the ball and an early 3-point lead. Forgive me, Tariq Black, number 25, is the guy who picks up the foul. Great ball movement and the lay-in for Quinn Cook.
Tell you, Cook, I think, is a key player. Played really great early last year. Remember, he's the star in that battle at Atlantis when they beat Louisville. Went through a little shooting slump at the end of the year.
Cook, one of the most improved players in the ACC, if not in all of college basketball last year. Lob inside, and it'll remain with Kansas. 15 to shoot. The Kansas Jayhawks under Bill Self remarkably have won or shared 9 consecutive regular season championships in a power conference. That's remarkable.
That's remarkable. It's unbelievable. It's consistency. There's no question Bill Self will head to the Hall of Fame. I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever. Tom Izzo's another one. Billy Donovan.
Tharp at the point. A very important player for Kansas this year. 2-man game with Tariq Black, grad student transfer from Memphis. Good ball movement, and Ellis with the lay-in. What a feed by Selden.
Did a great job reversing the basketball. Selden, a power guy. They told me before the game that Ellis has improved so much from last year.
And that's a habit that players have under Bill Self. They come in maybe as little-used freshmen, and by the time they're juniors and seniors, now he'll have his one-and-dones and guys that he loses quickly, but boy, do they develop.
Did a great job in that last possession. Good offensive efficiency, reversed the basketball, and dump it down inside. Good post position. Came out of Wichita. High school record was broke by one of his teammates, Frankamp.
Meanwhile, I'm sorry, Dick, second foul on Black. So Bill Self has to go to the bench already, and he brings in Jabari Traylor, a 6'8 sophomore who's from here in Chicago.
He's very athletic. I mean, he's a high riser, can really sky and get up on the rim.
Number 4 Duke, number 5 Kansas. We're just about 3 minutes in. Michigan State defeating Kentucky in the first game as Duke turns it over. Tharp behind the back.
Bad pass.
Rolled off his fingertips. I think he lost the handle as he tried to make the pass to the corner.
Talk about losing so much, as you said early. Losing those 3 guys, they were the really the nucleus of the Duke team. Losing those seniors, Kelly, Curry. Really outstanding plays in Plumlee, obviously.
They scored 47 points per game between them. Another Duke turnover, but they get it back. Shot clock did not reset. Wide open. Corner 3, Rodney Hood.
They love Hood. He's like the Mike Krzyzewski. He just raves about him. Came out from Mississippi State, transferred.
Ellis left it a little bit short. And now here's Parker. He can do this. He leads him up the floor. Cook a quick trigger for three. Maybe a shot that Mike Krzyzewski won't love. And back come the Jayhawks. Only to turn it over. A little ragged here in the early going. Parker. Hood calmly steps in, misses the three, and down with a rebound is Sheldon. Everybody just needs to take a deep breath. There's a lot of emotion, but maybe a little bit of jitters for some of these guys playing in a game of this magnitude. Although Sheldon, who's a freshman, looks as calm as anybody out there.
Yeah, no jitters out of him. Look at that body. Very physical, very tough, rated very high. They love his toughness.
And a foul away from the ball going against the Jayhawks to take us to our first media timeout. Seen a couple of early as we take a look at the state of success. Brought to you by State Farm. Kansas, as we mentioned, 9 consecutive regular season Big 12 titles. Duke's been in the top 10 115 consecutive weeks.
Wow.
Only UCLA has ever had more conference titles in a row or more weeks ranked in the top 10. Quinn Cook with a floater and a lead is 5.
Nice little cut without the ball by Cook. The Wizard of Westwood. He did a little winning.
Not bad.
A pyramid of success.
Here's Wiggins spinning. And it will not go, but he draws the foul.
So
you see glimpses of that athleticism right there.
From out of Canada, everybody thought he was going to hit the Florida State. Mom was a superstar there, an Olympic track performer. Dad played in the NBA. There's that spin. Very tough to play him one-on-one. Especially he's so effective he gets out of transition.
The final 4 for him were Florida State, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas. And as you can see, only Harrison Barnes has ever been named a first-team preseason All-American. The foul was before the shot. Josh Hairston is into the game for Duke.
Seems like Hairston's been around for years. Rebounder, could hit the offensive glass.
Rashid Suleiman has checked into the game for the Blue Devils as well. Here's Tharp, still going. Nobody stops him, and he floats it in.
Nobody rotated over to cut off the driving lane. Tharp able to penetrate, get in the lane. Can't reach in. Know the new rules right now. They're going to blow that whistle. You better play good defense, positioning defense.
You like it? You like the change?
Yeah, I really do, because I think what it's going to do a lot more rhythm to the game, a little more fluidness. If I were coach, I would have my players lock their arms behind their back and have to play 5-on-5, half-court defense, play without their hands to learn how to move their feet.
Parker misses the pull-up. Wiggins rips down the rebound. And a good job by Parker at the defensive end to take it away. He read that pass, but then he made a poor decision, or at least a poor pass, leading Suleiman too far.
You know, Parker's really so versatile. He's the kind of guy, I know Tom Izzo loved him. He was crushed when he decided to go to Duke. He just raved about him to me before the game here tonight.
Duke by 3, Parker to the bench, Emil Jefferson to back in for the Blue Devils. You get the feeling both of these coaches are obviously really excited about the prospects their teams have, and they're really looking forward to. They like the people they have, and they're so curious to find out what these teams might turn into.
Well, absolutely. Talking to both coaches, they said, hey, come and see us in January, February. We're going to be outstanding. And the same with Kentucky. I know Kentucky lost that game, but I'm going to tell you what, you're going to want no part of that team come March. I mean, Randall is a man, and those other kids are a lot better than what they showed tonight, and they lost to a quality team in Michigan State.
Bill Self said last night at an event, it's Traylor, a beautiful feed, and Wiggins jams it home.
That's his first basket. That's a collegiate, and it will not be his last. Oh, no, it's a second.
It's their second game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's first basket tonight.
Yeah, tonight. First time tonight. In the big showdown.
Yeah, in the big showdown.
The big showdown.
He had 16 in their win over Louisiana Monroe on Friday.
It's the big showdown, though. First one tonight.
First basket with you in the house.
Yeah.
Let's boil it down.
I got a turnover. Give me a turnover.
1-point game. Jefferson the handoff. Hood the drive. Rejected by Traylor. He's an athlete. He's a shot blocker. Wiggins again. Lost it. Traylor running the floor. Finishes.
And that's what Traylor does well. That athleticism. I'll tell you something else about both Wiggins and Parker. They are very unselfish players. They're all about the team concept and about winning.
First lead for Kansas. Cook barely grazes the rim on the 3.
Place getting a little loud. Place getting a little loud, Danny Schulman.
There's a lot of Jayhawk in the house tonight here in Chicago. How about Traylor at both ends of the floor, skying for the rejection, and then running the floor hard and winding up with a basket at the other end.
Well, he deserved it. You know, last year he blocked like 26 shots, played limited minutes.
He has given himself great minutes since coming into the game after Tariq Black picked up 2 quick fouls, but now he can't handle the pass and turns it over back to the Blue Devils.
You know, you mentioned the kid Black came to route of Memphis, played on some winning teams down there. He almost went to Duke. He came down to Kansas and Duke.
Here's Joel Embiid, another one of the freshmen. This guy's a fascinating story.
Wow.
Embiid is from Cameroon, 7-footer, volleyball player as a kid, didn't play organized basketball until he was 16 years old. And here he is as one of the top incoming freshmen as Marshall Plumlee is fouled. But Embiid is a guy, you talk about raw, but the potential apparently is limitless.
Well, you talk to the coaches, everybody says a future Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, put that kind of level on him. Where is he rated? Think about this. Not starting on the collegiate level. Yet if you go to Chad Ford or Insider on the NBA draft, he is projected number 3 in the draft.
Wow.
Think about that potential.
He's on Marshall Plumlee, the youngest of the 3 Plumlee brothers, with Mason and Miles both now having used up their eligibility and moving on to the pros. Suleiman, Alex Murphy had that partially blocked. That's got to be Duke ball, and it is. I mean, he didn't miss that shot by 4 feet. That ball was deflected.
You know, Plumlee's had so many injuries, but they want to use him as a screener, a guy to give him body inside, give him a big, go to the glass, get some rebounds.
He's a guy who's battled injuries in his time in Durham, and he's a different player than his brothers are too, as Wiggins sits down for the first time.
His brothers are NBA first rounders.
Mopping up a little perspiration on the floor before they resume play.
Hey, Randall put some show on, bringing that club back in the second half.
Yep.
As it looked, the first half was total domination. I think when you look at the combination, Payne and Harris outstanding for Michigan State.
Appling had a very good second half, and Michigan State hung on to beat Kentucky by 4. Plumlee fumbles away the pass. Now here's Frank Mason, and Parker rejects it. There was a foul before the rejection, so the foul is called, and it'll be 2 free throws coming for Frank Mason, another freshman, just 5'11", but a real bulldog tenacity about him. He's out of Petersburg, Virginia.
Yeah, he came out of the same high school that produced the guy by the name of Moses Malone. I went to that high school because I was trying to recruit Moses way before you. Moses Malone.
As an assistant at Rutgers or as the head coach at Detroit?
Head coach at Detroit. My buddy Smokey Gaines. We spent some time down there.
A very young Kansas team. Mason a freshman, Selden a freshman, Wiggins a freshman, Embiid a freshman. We probably will see Connor Frankamp, another freshman, and also Brandon Green, 6 freshmen who figure to be in the rotation for KU.
You know, Frankamp can shoot the basketball. You know, look at Duke as well, very young basketball team.
Gamble by Embiid, Plumlee's got it. Parker for 3, yes! And he'll be heading to the line.
Jabari Parker, a star. Absolute star. There is no doubt. I don't care what transpires here tonight with Parker or Wiggins. There's no doubt both are special players.
You know, and every year we talk about freshmen. It's the culture. It's the way it is, the one and dones. But every few years you have what appears to be an unusually special freshman class.
Absolutely.
And this is one of those years.
It really is. Even though I think the best class I've ever seen was the Sampson, Isaiah Thomas, James Worthy, Dominique Wilkins class. That was certainly special back in 79 and 80.
Back and forth they go. Duke by 1. Selden, jump stop, off the glass and good. Tough shot, and he has been outstanding so far tonight.
Very impressive. Living up to the bill. You can see he's got that power, that physique.
At 8 points, 4 assists in Kansas's opening game win over Louisiana Monroe. But Parker is feeling it here in his hometown.
Jabari Parker, inside-outside player. Duke's got to keep Kansas away from transition because that's where Wiggins excels. The
handoff to Selden, and he's fouled by Thornton, and that will be the second foul on Tyler Thornton as we go to the under 12 media timeout here at the United Center. Well, we talked about the two freshmen, Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker. Starters from last year, they bring in just a whole wave of talented players. 5 of the top 47 of the ESPN 100, led by the #1 player in the class, Andrew Wiggins from Thornhill, Ontario. And we have seen a glimpse of it. We saw the dunk. Wiggins has just come back into the game. But one of the things you hear about him is, and Bill Self just said it, be more aggressive. Don't drift, don't blend in, be more aggressive.
I think it's a little bit of his unselfishness, too. He waits for the game to come to him.
Embiid misses on the jump hook. There's Wiggins with a rebound and hits.
He's got a great first step. He really does. He's got that explosive once he starts rising. They may get good news, either one of these programs, on Friday, 4 o'clock. 2 great high school players. The #1 in the country right here from Chicago, Okafor, and Tyus Jones of Minnesota are going to make an announcement on ESPNU.
Rashid Suleiman.
Can't keep him on a bench. He's too offensively skilled. He has so many skills, so many big games last year.
Just a sophomore, had an outstanding freshman season. Wiggins now defended by Alex Murphy. Trying to drive on him, pulls up, too strong, runs it down. Shot clock didn't reset, didn't hit the rim. Selden looking inside. Ellis the extra pass off Embiid, out of bounds. Jabari Parker showing Dick not just a score. Look at that no-look pass to the corner.
No, he's a complete player. He can pass the basketball, he can rebound it, he can block shots. Want to wish best to his dad. Sonny's at home. He's not feeling well. Spoke to the mom. Took a picture with her, Mrs. Parker. And Sonny was an outstanding player. Played at Texas A&M. Yep. Got picked in the first round. Played for the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, ironic that both Parker and Wiggins' dads played in the NBA. Jefferson rejected by Embiid. Whoa.
Can't teach that size and that agility. He's going to get stronger, get a little bit better skills.
Boy, and is Ellis working hard for position and making plays down low for Kansas.
You can see confidence in his game, the way he posted on the interior. You didn't see that last year.
Sophomore out of Wichita. Emil Jefferson restores the three-point lead.
Yeah, boys, Hood's creation off the bounce. Did a great job getting in the lane. See, that's what this Duke club is going to be outstanding. They're going to beat you off the bounce and create opportunities.
Embiid draws the double team. Nice look inside to Wiggins.
Great cut without the ball by Wiggins, but the great look from the young kid. I'm telling you something, what potential he has.
Boy, you wouldn't look at him and say he's only been playing basketball 2 or 3 years.
Played volleyball.
Yeah. Can you imagine him playing volleyball? And here's a foul going on Wiggins. Again, one of those fouls that might not have been called last year, but they're calling it tighter this year. And here's Embiid. Good patience, good vision, good delivery.
Great look to the offside. Had the double team come his way. Found the open man.
And now here's Brandon Green into the game for the first time, number 14 for Kansas. Another member of that freshman class. He's from Juliet, Georgia, as Wiggins sits down for the second time. And at the line is Hood. A guy that Manjuszewski thinks so much of. He's a redshirt sophomore.
Made him a captain.
And made him a co-captain. I mean, last year he redshirted, and he's a co-captain this year.
Mike raves about him. He talked him on the phone. He saw our team's going to be built around 2 guys, Hood and Parker.
Hood deflects it as we check in with Andy Katz.
So many players, as you guys know, are getting those waivers to play immediately without sitting out the year. But prior to the season, Rodney Hood told me he actually needed to sit out the year just to firstly get adjusted from Mississippi State to Duke academically, and then just seriously work on his game, something that we don't hear too often now. Everyone wants the immediacy. He actually wanted to sit out and become a better player.
Hey, Andy, you mentioned about some players getting waivers, some guys allowed to play right away. I think it's wacky what's existing. There's no rhyme or reason. You can't figure out how one player is eligible, another guy's not. Come on, let's have consistency. NCAA.
1-point lead for Duke, 9:04 to go with Andy Katz, Dick Vitale. I'm Dan Schulman to game 2 of the State Farm Champions Classic from a sold-out United Center, where it feels and looks like there are more Kansas fans and sounds like there are more Kansas fans than any of the other 3 schools as the Jayhawks go back on top.
No, not that far. You know, down there to Chicago. Get to the beautiful windy city.
We mentioned this in the first game. This series, the Classic, has been renewed for 3 more years. Next year in Indianapolis, 2 years from now back here in Chicago, and 3 years from now in New York City as Hood puts the Blue Devils on top.
He's really assertive, Hood. He's another guy just like Parker that you do many things. They're all about the team. They're all about the team concept.
Selden slips. Green. Yes!
He is a shooter. Catch the ball and shoot it. And he showed why right there. I mean, you got to think a lot of these kids were playing high school basketball a few months ago. Here they are at a collegiate level, a big building, national TV. And they're not nervous. They're like Dan Shulman. Relax.
What a pass by Hood. How in the world did he find Jefferson?
Jefferson's going to get a lot of deuces around the basket, hanging around with the penetration ability of guys like Hood and Cook.
And Rodney Hood, if he's not already, is going to be a household name very, very soon, playing for a program like Duke's and with the ability that he has.
You mean Duke's going to get some PR?
I think they
get some TV coverage?
You might give him a little. I've heard that.
You did?
I've heard that. Embiid. Green again, almost behind the backboard, he knocks it down.
Catch the ball and shoot it. That's his forte, and he's doing it very, very well. Catch and shoot guy.
Made a 3, he's made a 2. Kansas by 2.
2 great programs. What tradition. Tremendous players over the years. See those jerseys, and all you think about is greatness.
Parker step back 3. And Embiid down with the rebound, and now Kansas looking to push. Selden. High off the glass and got it.
They're going to be a good transition basketball team. You can see that. And you can see when Embiid gets more experience, what a vital factor he is going to be. And that Chalk faithful really jumping with joy.
And Cook fouled by Tharp. So good action here in Chicago, and the young Kansas Jayhawks, Dick, really.
Brooke and Durant. I think they're the best young combo in the game.
Westbrook and Durant, Hall and Griffin. Going to be a good game. Going to be a good game.
Hey, let me tell you this here. I saw Chris Mullin before. He took him in a class. He was in a class in 1981-82 with some fair players. Patrick Ewing.
Heard of him?
Michael Jordan.
Not bad.
Nice pass.
Ellis from Selden.
Tell you one thing, Ellis is going to have a big year. Came out strong at the end of the year. In fact, I believe he made the all-tournament team at the end of the season.
And interesting, Wiggins is still on the bench. He does have 6 points. As the wing 3 won't go for Matt Jones, a freshman out of DeSoto, Texas, number 13 for Duke.
He played with Randall on the AAU circuit. Jones, really a good shooter, a guy that they really impressed with his defensive ability.
And now away from the ball, we've got a foul going against Duke.
Great entry right here. Throw a lob right over the top. Good position inside, and he can finish. Once he catches the ball in deep, he knows how to finalize.
When the Jayhawks have made their last 7 shots, they lead by 6. Brandon Green has made a couple off the bench, and he's playing well. Maybe the reason why Wiggins is still on the bench right now.
I mean, Bill Self raved to me about his team. He really did before the game. So we're going to be good. We're going to be good. I love coaches that got that positive attitude.
Green, not shy. Misses this one, and Parker down with another rebound for Duke. Parker getting a huge ovation pregame because he's from here when he was introduced, and he'll get another big ovation right now.
Using the left hand right there with the strong drive to the goal. Remember, you know, the kid had a lot of injuries, had that foot injury. Took him a while to get back. Came from a high school that's really produced so many outstanding players. Simeon
had 22.6 rebounds in the win over Davidson on Friday. Ellis, patient, knocks it down. How improved is he from a year ago?
Really has improved big time. He's got that bounce in his step. He's got that star quality now.
The minutes are there with all 5 starters leaving, and Ellis is making the most of it. Suleiman is tripped All three officials putting up their arm to signal a foul. I think it was Selden who inadvertently tripped him.
You know what really impresses me, Dan? I was looking at statistically. We heard about all the whistles being blown and all the fouls.
Yep.
Both these clubs so well coached that the coaches have emphasized time and time again about playing defense with great footwork and good team positioning. Well, look at the first half. How many fouls were called?
You're right.
So you got to get part of the game. You better adjust.
And if you go back and watch a game, say on Classic, a game from the 70s or the 80s, it wasn't played with the mugging that we have started to see in recent years. It was played more like what they're trying to get it back to now. Parker, look at this.
Are you serious? Are you serious, America? Remember the name, Jabari Parker. That's his mom. I got a picture and a hug from her, Danny Schulman. It's going up on Twitter and Facebook, Danny.
He's going to get a hug from her at the end of the night after that play. He's into double figures already.
He's such a big-time performer. His high school produced guys like Nick Anderson, Derrick Rose, Bobby Simmons, Deion Thomas.
He might be the best of the bunch by the time it's all said and done. 10 to shoot.
Derrick Rose is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. he might be the second best of the bunch by the time it's all said and done. Here come the Blue Devils in transition. Cook loses it. Ball still loose. And they will tie it up to take us to a timeout. You're right. He might be the second best of the bunch by the time it's all said and done, but he's awfully special. Vital game 2 of the State Farm Champions Classic, and another good one with Kansas leading Duke 34-30 despite a tremendous performance so far in the first half from Simeon High right here in Chicago, from Chicago's own Jabari Parker. We've seen the shot, we've seen the pass, we've seen the drive, we have seen all of the skills that Jabari Parker is known to have. That was pretty impressive stuff by a 6'8" guy going up the court.
I spoke on the phone yesterday to a guy that was #1 in the country coming out of high school, played in Chicago right here at King High School, Marcus Liberty. And Marcus told me he's very familiar with the young guy, Parker. He said, Dick, Wiggins is good, and I'm going for my Chicago guy, Mr. Parker.
Wiggins remains on the bench for Kansas, been there for a long time. And Hood travels. Parker right now 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals in 15 minutes. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins, who does have 6 points, 3 rebounds in 9 minutes, but either Bill Self saw something he didn't like or he liked the way Brandon Green was playing, although Green has now gone to the bench and Wiggins still hasn't come back in. Andrew White, the third, number 3, is into the game, and that was White who just drew the foul on Hood.
See, I think the one thing that impresses me when you're looking at Parker, you mentioned 11 points. No real forced action. He waits for good shots to come his way, creates opportunities with his driving ability.
And let me add this, Wiggins has 2 fouls, so that would obviously be another explanation. So that's probably why Wiggins is on the bench, that Bill Self doesn't want him to pick up that third here in the first half.
I had him down for 1. I'm surprised you say he had 2.
I didn't realize as well, but as we look at the box score, he's got 2. So he might sit out the rest of the half. Jamari Traylor just picked up his second. 4 Kansas players, Black, Tharp, Wiggins, Traylor, each with 2 fouls already.
Well, they got a lot of guys they can rotate in here, but obviously the one guy they want out there is Wiggins.
Ellis back in, Traylor out. We'll have a chance to see Kansas take on Oklahoma State as one of our game day games on March the 1st. And with Marcus Smart back, obviously the Cowboys look like they're going to be one of the elite teams in the conference and maybe in the country. That'll be a great matchup.
Well, you know, Marcus Smart certainly a talent. And he said, I love this one quote, you know, getting all the publicity, the guy's got to prove it. Come on the floor. That's why when I pick my All-American teams, I don't pick kids out of high school. To me, post, let them earn it. Let them earn it.
Ellis is fouled and will go to the free throw line. And for Duke in the ACC, of course, with Syracuse and Pittsburgh and Notre Dame coming in this year, the conference has a whole different feel to it. This season, 15 teams, and it's going to be loaded at the top.
You know, Jimmy Boeheim told me, he said, tickets went so fast for that Duke game, it was unreal. I thought they were going to change the whole layout and get maybe 50,000, but they couldn't do it.
So in the ever-evolving landscape that is college basketball, you've got Notre Dame, Syracuse, and Pittsburgh in this year. Louisville in, Maryland out. next year, but no matter how you slice it, some marquee matchups up near the top of the ACC.
Well, no doubt the ACC is the #1 conference in basketball, but don't get me started about the geographic insanity that's taking place with all these conferences. It's wacky out there. It makes no sense. It's all about money, money, money.
Parker stripped on the way out. Hairston, though, with a putback.
And that's what Hairston does. We saw that a number of times last year. Come in, grab loose balls, offensive glass.
Embiid runs it down in the corner. And eventually the Jayhawks turn it over. Boy, Parker feeling it.
He's got touch. He's got touch. He's got size. He's really...
A look back at Michigan State's win over Kentucky. What did you take out of game one?
Well, the first half it was all Michigan State. And then you saw the talent really rise of Kentucky. Certainly a very talented basketball team that will be tough to deal with come March. And Randall, he's a man. An absolute man. He reminded me a young version of Zach Randolph when he played at Michigan State.
I thought, too, you see how different Michigan State is when they're healthy, when Gary Harris is healthy, and when Brandon Dawson is healthy, and Travis Trice is healthy. Payne. Lead here by Kansas. This is Mason driving on Cook, and there's a foul. And that is typical of a foul that may not have been called last year, but when you put pressure on somebody and they reach out and put a hand on you, they're going to blow the whistle.
Yeah, I was sitting with John Adams during the first game, who's the boss of the officials, and he said, as soon as you make that contact on him, especially if you poke at him once or twice, they're going to blow the whistle. And I think that's good, because we want to see players utilize their skills and their talents, clean it up. I think ultimately, initially you're going to see the flow of the game really affected. Peter Thamel wrote a great column in Sports Illustrated about them. He covered a game, a Providence game with, I believe, was Providence and Boston College. And he talked all about that, like the flow of the game. But it's not really effective here because both these clubs have done a good job playing defense with their footwork.
The ball will stay with Duke. Well, how about last night, one of the other games of the marathon, that BYU-Stanford game, 112 to 103. There was plenty of flow in that game. It wasn't all free throws. It was guys going up and down the floor, making shots.
See, the scoring's been down. Physicality's been out of control.
Suleiman, Mason stays with him. Parker elevates again and hits again. 19 for Jabari Parker.
What a show he's putting on in the Windy City.
And Duke is back on top. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Selden with a crossover. Tough shot, and Parker a rebound. He's doing everything. Hood. Stolen away by Mason.
Mason and Selden, they got two strong bulldog kind of guards.
Ellis, left hand, no. Tipped by Green, no. Ellis looking for help, finds Mason.
Great pass.
Great play by Perry Ellis.
He really did.
Yep.
Great look from the floor, finding his open teammate. He's going to the free throw line because of the hustle and the play by Ellis.
Second foul on Jabari Parker. Ellis, one of the best players on the court for Kansas tonight. Literally on the court. In the seat of his pants looking for help.
They're going to get Parker out of the game with those two fouls.
And here comes Matt Jones back into the game, and Parker will indeed sit down. What a first half.
Tremendous. He's done it all. He's shown why he's a PTP, a primetime performer.
White back in for Ellis. Duke went smaller. Kansas matches. Tied again.
Both these coaches know a little bit about winning. Think about this. Last 15 years, Duke is #1 with 452 wins. Kansas #2 with 436 wins.
Wow.
That's consistency.
College basketball is back next Tuesday night with a journey to the tourney matchup as Chris Crawford in Memphis. They take on Marcus Smart and Oklahoma State, a top 15 matchup Tuesday night at 8 Eastern on ESPN and also available live on Watch ESPN. So we have 4 of the top 5 ranked teams, for what it's worth, this early in the season. In Michigan State, Kentucky, Kansas, and Duke. Louisville's the other one. Do you see it as a wide open year?
Well, I really see, no, I don't see wide open. I think there's some heavyweight teams up on top. You just mentioned 4, and you better include Louisville. Louisville's going to have a great shot to go back-to-back. They really are. And don't count out Arizona.
Yes.
There's a possibility in the NIT, Duke and Arizona, because Aaron Gordon, I can see him right now watching it too. Get me some of that ink, baby. Get me some of that ink. I want a piece of those guys.
If Duke and Arizona were to meet, that would be at the preseason NIT. That's the day after Thanksgiving. They both got to win to get that far, but that would be on the 29th of November. Knocked out of bounds by Green.
See, the one thing in beauty of college basketball, though, you can take a mid-major, you can take a team against a heavyweight on a one given night, shock them with the three-point shot, with the ability to make that three to change the game.
Jones is fouled. Matt Jones and Brandon Green are really getting after each other right now. And Green is called for the foul, his first. So double bonus both ways. We'll be saying that a lot in the early going this season until players adjust a little bit. 2 free throws coming for Jones. So not an extraordinary number of free throws so far, though both teams have committed 10 or more fouls. And Jones, who's got the reputation of being a very good shooter, missed both. The foul situation, until it gets sorted out, will test the depth of teams as well. You can't get by with 7 players anymore. Lob inside. Green baseline, lost it out of bounds.
Yeah, depth will definitely be a factor. You know, you take a look right now, most players in the NBA rosters, Kentucky with 21, Duke with 15, Carolina 15, and Kansas 14. I look at Bill Self and I think about he had to replace Roy Williams. Roy did such an incredible job in his 15 years, and to replace him I thought was almost going to be impossible. But this guy has stepped in and they haven't missed a beat.
Headed to the Hall of Fame. He's won a national championship. It is a team that he thinks if they find their identity, stay healthy, they've got a chance to be there at the end this year. Cook challenging everybody. Good strong drive by Cook, and he'll head to the free throw line.
He's got that ability. He really came on strong at the beginning of the year last year, kept getting better and better, and then he went through a little tough time at tournament time. They lost to Louisville in the Elite Eight. That was the game Kevin Weir got injured.
Yeah, and so nice to see that he is going to be able to make a comeback and play for Louisville. We'll see Louisville and Carolina, by the way, a week from Sunday. Mohegan's son in Connecticut as Cook knocks down the free throw.
I think Carolina's going to be a lot better than people believe, especially if you get back to kids that aren't there. When they get all the pieces, the Hairstons, Bananas, they're going to be a lot better than people believe.
Got a little more size this year, Meeks and Hicks, and new kids coming in.
They got Britt playing a little bit at the point, allowing Page to do some scoring.
Connor Frankamp is into the game for the first time, 6-foot freshman from Wichita, number 23 for Kansas.
And he can shoot it. His reputation, great long-range shooter.
Selden too strong. Rebound Embiid. Shot clock is off. They can hold it if they realize it. Bill Self is hollering one. And now it looks like Mason realizes, and they'll slow it down and set it up.
You know, I look at Embiid and his potential. What a special player he's going to be. They say he's got a great attitude.
Mason won't go. And it is going to be a foul on Kansas, I believe. Don't want to misread the signal here, but it looks like, yes, it is a Jayhawk foul. And Bill Self yelling, "What are you doing?" He's really upset with the lack of understanding, time clock situation. You talk about it.
We talk about that all the time. How kids many a time don't understand the strategic part of the game. Really keep an eye on what the time situation is, the score.
It was Mason on the drive, and he started too soon, and here's the teaching going on. This is what coaches are having to do more and more with freshmen having bigger and bigger roles.
You know, Bill Self did a great job, and he was right in this state up in Illinois. He did a terrific job when he was there. He has such a great personality. You can see how kids can really gravitate to him. Last year, he was one of our keynote people we honored at my event, and he was so special and so unique as you were there to host it. And then he made a big donation as well.
And the Blue Devils, somewhat uncharacteristically, struggling from the line, just 6 of 12. And make it 13.
Got to make those free throws. When you play against quality teams, you got to convert on that free throw line.
White. Good if it goes. And the first half, an up and down entertaining first half, comes to a close here in Chicago. with number 4 Duke led by Jabari Parker. A game-high 19 for the freshman playing here in his hometown, leading the Kansas Jayhawks. 16 points, 5 rebounds in the first half for Parker. Andrew Wiggins only played 9 minutes. Didn't play after he picked up his second foul. He had 6 points and 3 rebounds in the first half. Here's Andy Katz.
Well, picking up on Dick's point about Jabari Parker, I just spoke with Duke Associate Head Coach Steve Wojciechowski, and he said a lot of times young players will look to have that individual matchup. That's not what Parker did at all. He's thinking team first. He says he's an incredible mismatch. They're going to look to continue to exploit that in the second half.
All right, Andy, thank you. 42-40 Duke. Michigan State beating Kentucky by 4. Not a surprise when you get programs of this caliber together that the games are so close.
You know, I really think we've seen this quality basketball this early in the year, and I'm also going to go on record here. You're going to watch Wiggins really pick it up now.
Well, a designed play as they come right out of halftime, and he picks it up, lays it in, ties the game.
He's that kind of player.
Wow.
You know, they had an article in Sports Illustrated that said he was a little passive. See what he did the next game? He went for 57. 57.
He's a kid who apparently doesn't really feel all that comfortable with the attention that he's gotten, and he's gotten an extraordinary amount of attention, and you can understand why when you see a freshman make plays like this.
Unbelievable. He was spinning in a lane, strong enough, physical enough to lay it on a glass. He's got that wiry body, stronger than what he looks.
Yep.
And what elevation and explosiveness.
Well, his dad, Mitchell Wiggins, who played at Florida State and in the NBA, was obviously a very good player, very good athlete. And his mom may be the athlete of the bunch. She competed in the Olympics. She was a hurdler. So he's got good genes, and he's making the most of them.
Well, you know, so does Jabari when you look at the genes.
Yep.
Dad played in the NBA for years.
And Andrew Wiggins has a brother who plays at Wichita State.
What a program they got down here. Mr. Marshall and company. Clee Anthony early. Terrific team. Last year went to the Final Four.
Some foul trouble in the first half limited some players for Kansas. Now Wiggins misses the 3, and Rodney Hood skies for the rebound.
I think you'll see Wiggins really assert himself offensively.
Think he was told to do that at halftime?
I think he knows within himself. He knows what the game, the trend is going. He sees the performance of Parker.
Lob. Parker!
Oh, look at those hands. Look at those hands. Is there any doubt he will have a rocking and rolling at Cameron Indoor Stadium?
And Ellis draws the foul. Jabari Parker. When that, I don't know about you, when that pass went into the air, I didn't think there was any chance he could come down with it.
Look at these hands, though. Great hands. Catches that ball and jams that sucker. I mean, star. There is no doubt about it. S-T-A-R. As dumb as I am, I can spell star.
Parker had 22 in the win over Davidson. He's got 21 already here tonight against Kansas. Tariq Black, his minutes limited in the first half because of foul trouble. The transfer from Memphis. Selden, and he was looking for Wiggins on a lob. Selden comes down with it and banks it in.
He's going to be such a solid player at Kansas. I could see why they really rate him so high.
And it's back to a one-point game.
Terrific one-point game, 2 traditional programs.
Largest lead for either school has been 6. Cook, a deep 3. Tharp, such a big piece of the puzzle as he becomes the starting point guard for the Jayhawks this year. Wiggins' pass is deflected. And it will stay with Kansas.
So I think it's important when you look at the situation with the rules changes. You better make free throws. You better make sure you're a deep basketball team. And you better make certain defensively that you're playing with great footwork and good positioning on the defensive end.
Here's Wiggins. In and out. And the rebound down to Parker. Parker step back 3 again. A little bit short. Wiggins down with the rebound. Ahead to Ellis. Lays it in.
I really like Barry Ellis. I'm telling you people out there in Kansas, you are going to have a super self this year. This guy is determined to have a big-time year. Came in with a big reputation. And last year really did play to that. I think sometimes we're too quick to evaluate kids out of high school. We don't give them time to grow.
More of an opportunity this year. Made the most of his summer. Jefferson with a strong drive for the Blue Devils.
Same thing with Jefferson. Came in as a big-time reputation out of Philly. Last year, limited time.
Selden had a nice first half, knocked away by Thornton.
And then he fouled him.
Yep. And Thornton, a guy, you hesitate to call him a glue guy, but it's almost a cliche term, but he does so many little things for Duke, is more valuable than his numbers suggest, and he's a great leader as well.
Well, you know, in Hawaii, he beat Kansas with 2 unbelievable threes.
That's right.
And the reputation, the book, all the scouts said, hey, can't shoot the long-range jumper. If I remember, see, my memory takes me back. I have a tougher time remembering what I did yesterday. But I think a couple of years ago, did he not hit 2 big
threes in Maui? The 2011 championship game, thrilling game. Duke leading the all-time series 7-2. And a corner 3 extends the lead. Traylor looking for it inside. Parker defending him. Selden. Still plenty of time to shoot for Kansas. Here's Wiggins. Knocked away. Thornton and Cook in there double teaming him.
You know, Thornton hits that 3, but down here on a defensive end, the one thing with Wiggins, you got a better chance against him in a 5-on-5 where you can get help, as opposed to letting him get out in transition.
Right.
Because that's where he is really at his best. He excels in the open court.
Ellis for 3. Got it!
He's doing it all. Ellis is doing it all for the Jayhawks.
What a performance tonight by the sophomore Perry Ellis to bring the Jayhawks back within 1.
He's got a name that really reigns supreme in terms of headlines. Perry Ellis. Not Perry Mason, Perry Ellis.
Jabari Parker is fouled. And we have a timeout on the floor 4 minutes into the second half here in Chicago.
DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Back here in Chicago, the second game of the State Farm Champions Classic. Dan Schulman, Dick Vitale, Andy Katz, and the Game Day Gang. Duke leading Kansas 50-49. Jabari Parker, the freshman, leading all scores with 21 as Hood is hit hard on his way to the basket. Rodney Hood, a guy who's going to have a big-time year, it looks like, for Duke. Third foul on Wayne Selden will send Hood to the line.
You know, you mentioned Hood. He's only the 4th guy that's been a transfer at Duke since Mike Krzyzewski's been here, now entering his 34th year. Think about Rashawn McLeod, who came the route of St. John's. You think about Dante Jones from out of Rutgers, and you also think Seth Curry. Those guys all transferred and all really were vital factors.
Yeah. Pretty good group right there. And Hood is going to be as well. Just a sophomore right now, though. Again, who knows how long he'll stick around if he has the opportunity to go as he makes 1 of 2.
You know, you think about what Coach K did with the Olympic team. Unbelievable. What he's done, he brought back that sense of pride, 2 Olympic gold medals, and now they're going to head for the 3rd in 2016. The combination of Colangelo and Krzyzewski has been dynamite.
Ellis off the back of the iron, rebound Parker. He is clearing the glass tonight as well.
He's got that great body.
Hood won't go. Ellis down with a rebound. Up and down the court they go. Mason the lob. Wiggins somehow laid it in.
That's Wiggins at his best. Run, baby, run. We talked about a little bit earlier. He excels in transition. That's why he'll be so good in the NBA. Getting up and down the floor.
Jefferson counted and a foul on Traylor.
I tell you, Jefferson has become a really important cog to this basketball team. What a different look. I mean, this is probably the most athletic Duke has been in years.
In a long time. Yeah, Traylor picks up his 4th. He goes to the bench, and Joel Embiid is back into the game. Just a completely different looking Duke team with more minutes for Jefferson. Parker here now. The eligibility, the transfer of Hood. And again, Plumlee, Curry, Kelly were such big factors for so long for the Blue Devils. Wiggins using the screen, foot on the line, misses the shot. Ellis saves it. No, it lands on the sideline, so it's Duke ball.
Andrew a little bit down on himself. I saw him put his head down, missing that three. Has not been able to convert from the perimeter. I sat and spent a lot of time when I went to Florida. My little grandsons were with me as well, Connor and Jake. We sat in a room all alone with him and talked to him, and he was terrific to talk to.
But a quiet kid, right?
Very quiet, very quiet. He just wants to play basketball. He's not into all the other stuff.
Parker, the turnaround.
What I'm basically saying, he's not a hot dog like I am.
So he did more listening, and you did more talking.
I did all the talking. Is that unusual?
College basketball continues with a doubleheader Sunday as Michigan takes on Iowa State, and then Kentucky back in action against Robert Morris. The games come your way at 5 and 7 Eastern on ESPN2.
I'm going to be my first trip to the Hilton Magical Coliseum. I can't wait. I spoke to the mayor, Freddie Hoiberg, the other day, and he's excited about his team. And Michigan's top 10. I mean, Robinson, McGarry, they are really, and Stotskis, they're going to be very good. John Beeline's done a heck of a job.
They got to hope that back trouble McGarry said that's not something serious that plagues him through the entire season.
Well, you look at Iowa State, kid from Canada. Edgem is out.
Edgem,
Yeah, he's out. They say he's really making progress, and he's a tough kid. He may play sooner than people expected.
Embiid looking for somebody to give the ball to, finds Mason, who's wide open. Cook, still going, and lays it in.
You got to stop the basketball. You got to stop the basketball. Mason allowed him to go right by him and go to the length of the court.
And Bill Self is not a happy guy.
I don't blame him. He's a little upset right there in transition defense.
Land him in the Hall of Fame before it's all said and done. I mean, the numbers just jump off the page at you.
Oh, unbelievable. Consistency. Hey, one of these two programs, they're going to be jubilant on Friday. Because Friday, Paul Biancardi and his people on ESPNU, an announcement's going to be made by Okafor and Tyus Jones, and they're going to go in a package. And the choices are either Duke or Kansas. And both guys, Okafor's #1 in the country, and Tyus Jones is #4. So one of those two schools are going to get really a moment of joy on Friday.
Wiggins pushed in the bag, just the third team foul on Duke as we go for more on that story with Andy Katz.
Well, Dick just mentioned the package deal, but part of the reason this can be a package deal is these players know that there's going to be some vacancies from these players that are going to leave to the NBA. So that's kind of the new twist in kind of package deals like this, where players know they're going to be able to get playing time that next year as freshmen.
Yep, the whole recruiting landscape has certainly changed in recent years as Ellis scores another basket.
He can't match up on him. They have nobody to contain him at all. Ellis on the freedom on the inside is really having a great night.
Right now, Wiggins matched up on Parker. We haven't seen that so far tonight. And Cook turns it over and then fouls Mason, who's really given Kansas some good minutes at the point tonight.
Well, they decided Bill Self made the adjustment, go a little smaller rather than big against Parker, go with quickness now. Trying to match him up on the perimeter, take away that three-point shot.
First turnover of the second half for Duke. So you've got Wiggins, who's really the three-man for Kansas, who's playing Parker. And you've got Parker and Hood, who could be a 3, who could be a 4. So interesting matchups. Nice feed.
As Ellis again, nobody's guarding Ellis. I mean, somebody better find out from Duke that Ellis can play. I mean, he's wide open for layup after layup. And that jaw down there, look at this rock jaw crowd. Talk about two great programs. What about two great venues? Cameron Indoor and certainly down in Allen Fieldhouse.
Two of the best. Wayne Selden, beautiful feed to Perry Ellis.
Oh, what a nice dish. What a nice dish. What a day he's having.
$19 for Ellis, and Kansas is back within 1.
Seems like he has about 25.
Yeah, there have been some noisy points here tonight. Very efficient, 8 for 11, some high percentage looks. And just when it looks like one team might pull away a little bit, the other one comes right back. And again, neither team has led by more than 6 at any point tonight.
He had the record for points scored on a scholastic level in the city of Wichita. It was broke by Frankamp, his teammate.
Hood. And he will shoot a couple.
What I love about the stars we're seeing here today is the fact that they're so unselfish and they're all about the team and they don't have chips on their shoulders and have attitude problems. You see so many guys, man, they get so much notoriety, publicity, and they got chips on their shoulders. It's unbelievable. They forget where they come from, and these kids have it.
You're looking at two of the best. You just saw Parker and Wiggins side by side. In this field of the 4 schools tonight here with the Champions Classic, ESPN 100, they ranked the top incoming freshmen this year. 8 of the top 10
unbelievable
played in this building tonight. 5 for Kentucky, 2 for Kansas, and 1 for Duke.
Yeah, I read that Franny Frischella had it in a column today over in USA Today with Eric Brisbane and Nicole Auerbach. Hey, talking about great classes, we're talking about this class. I mentioned the 79-80s, my favorite. 2007's a good class, too. Kevin Love, Blake Griffin, James Harden, Derrick Rose, O.J. Mayo. Not bad.
Not bad.
Kyle Singler.
Not bad. Mason knocks it down, and Kansas again back within 1. And Parker draws a foul on Wiggins. And the Kansas fans don't like that call. It's the 3rd on Wiggins, who only played 9 minutes in the first half after he picked up his 2nd foul.
They decided to attack him right here. See, right now he's got the strength, the body strength against quickness.
They're the same height, but Parker's about 30 pounds heavier.
So strong. Wiggins keeps looking over at Bill Self like, don't take me out, coach. I know I got 3. I can play with 3. He peeks out of the corner of his eye, and he's debating. Bill Self is debating right now.
Parker, a nice stroke from the line.
He just has a great touch. He really does. For a big guy. Tom Izzo came so close, but in recruiting, finishing 2nd doesn't help. Nice entry.
Selden with another good pass, and this time it's Embiid who finishes.
Hey, Dan, that kid is going to be a star.
Yep.
He is going to be special. He is going to be special. He's played basketball 3 years, as Dan said earlier. Was a volleyball player.
How did nobody find him before he was 16 years old? Reverse no. Here come the Jayhawks looking for the lead.
They like to run, baby. Oh. See, as he gets a little more experience, he would catch that ball right there and dunk that baby. He would dunk it. That would never come back out.
But a mismatch inside, really. Hood trying to body up on Embiid, giving up a lot of size.
He doesn't know how to post yet, though, Dan. That's really familiar with that. He kept the ball alive there with a tip.
Nice look. Parker, no. Play continues. It's Wiggins.
Showtime. So quick. He bounces off the floor. He's like a Spalding pink ball. Bounce, boom, up. Up and away. He's the elevator man. This is November 12th. Are you serious? This is November 12th.
Think it's going to be a fun season?
Oh, wow.
Jefferson. Down with the rebound is Selden, doing a little bit of everything for the Jayhawks.
What will these teams be in a couple of months?
Mason. I think that was a pass for Embiid, but he thought a shot was going up and turned his back on him. Parker. And Wiggins gets back to knock it out of bounds.
Almost had his 4th right there, too.
Farm Champions Classic as Michigan State defeated Kentucky. Also a review of this game and the Parker-Wiggins matchup at a big night for LeBron as well. SportsCenter is currently airing on ESPN2, and I'm quite certain if you watch SportsCenter a little bit later on tonight, Dick, that you will see this play.
Well, I would think so. If there's 10 better than that. Wow, look at that catch and the jam. A local kid coming home.
Parker has put on a show all night long, 23 points, 7 rebounds. Wiggins getting in on the act here in the second half. He's up to 12 points, 5 rebounds. And Kansas has the ball and the lead. Mason juggles, gathers. Now he's in there with Tharp at the same time for the first time tonight. Boy, is that guy a bulldog or what?
Really is. He's strong, 5 to go. Came, as we said earlier, from the same high school that produced Moses Malone down in Petersburg, Virginia. He really is an attacker. There's a good head fake. Got into triple threat position.
And drew the foul on Emil Jefferson. Mason now at the line for 2.
He's got to be very athletic this year. Syracuse, their front court is going to be dynamite. Grant should have a great year for them. He's been out, but he'll be a really dynamite player in Fair and company. They love their point guard, Ennis.
You see, Fair's a terrific player. You see Duke and Syracuse as the top two in the ACC right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't, don't count out North Carolina. I want to see them at full force. I want to see them with all their parts. I think they're going to have a big year out of North Carolina on McAdoo. And Page.
Wiggins on the bench right now for Kansas. Parker in the game for Duke. Cook is back into the point for the Blue Devils. Lobs it up, and the finish by Jefferson.
Jefferson's going to hang around a basket, and he's going to be a double-figure scorer because he is going to get all the little dishes from all the other guys that create and penetrate.
Here's Ellis. He's had a big night, and it gets a little bit bigger.
See, Jefferson's going to be a better defensive player. I mean, that's the one area right now. Ellis has really been abusing him on the inside.
9 for 13, 21 points, 6 rebounds for Perry Ellis.
I can't get over the execution this early in the season.
Both teams are shooting over 50%.
With new players.
Parker a little bit out of control. Here comes Tharp. They've got numbers. And they turn it over.
That's a bad turnover right there.
And Tharp might find himself on the bench. Bill Self is not happy. Doesn't look like he's going to make any changes. But boy, he had a look of displeasure on his face after that missed opportunity.
Here comes Wiggins back on the floor. You got to play him with 3 fouls. You can't wait.
And Parker's on the bench for Duke right now. Wiggins finds himself on Thornton. White, who's a very good athlete for Kansas, is defending Hood. Hood, count it.
Big time play. They say their big two are going to be Hood and Parker, and there's no doubt about it. We're seeing that tonight. Here he is on a drive to the goal. It's a kid from out of Mississippi, went to Mississippi State.
Second foul on Ellis has tied the game, and Hood looking to give Duke the lead.
Sat out a year and really learned a great deal, practicing with the team every day, get familiar to the system.
Mike Krzyzewski in his 34th year as the head coach at Duke. He's won 885 games with the Blue Devils, 958 overall.
He'll be the first guy to win 1,000 in Division I.
Yep.
Right now, he's, I believe, 3 games behind Herb McGee, a terrific coach, but he's combinations, Division II, etc. Hey, think about this, though. 62-1, he's also in, when you talk international play, lost to Greece.
Not bad.
Lost to Greece in 2006 in the semifinals.
And as you mentioned, he's re-upped through 2016 as Josh Hairston is called for the foul.
He lost in the World Championship semifinals to Greece. Yeah, he and Jerry Colangelo, what a combination. If you know Jerry, Jerry's such a winner, recognizes people, delegates really well. And Mike, the one thing he's done, he brought back a sense of pride in wearing the USA uniform.
Well, Kansas, as Cook knocks it out of bounds, Kansas is so much bigger in certain spots right now. And one of them, it looks like Quinn Cook, 6'2" point guard, is matching up with Wiggins, a 6'8" wing. And now it looks like
now he's rotating
now it's
back
Thornton.
over.
Now it's Thornton. So let's see if they send Wiggins down to the post, try to do something there. Looking for him. Missed the shot, fouled it up.
Can't play with him in here. That's a total mismatch. Total mismatch, man. Too big, too quick.
Suleiman, he's had a quiet night.
He must
Knocks
have
it down.
Kid from out of Houston.
And the lead changes hands again. Just the second make of the night for Rashid Suleiman. Again, Thornton trying to stay with Wiggins, but giving up so much size.
They got to get the ball to Wiggins inside. They got to get the ball into him. Dump it into him. Can't play him down in the box.
And Thornton called for the foul.
Thornton's going to bust his gut. Thornton's a warrior. He's tough.
The big guys, high-low, get the ball inside, and they're pretty good at getting touches.
They really do a great job with post execution. We're going to take a look right here. They're going to front the post, dude. They're going to try to play in front. Then they're going to swing the ball. And watch this right here. Great post execution. Throw the ball right over the top. And there's Ellis knowing how to finish. Then we're going to watch again down here with Embiid. They're going to try to post here. Look at the angle. Gets a great angle to the baseline, the spin, the drop step, and the layup. Great execution. That's teaching, man. That's teaching. That's not just happening by accident.
And Mike Krzyzewski's made some changes, so he's got a bigger lineup out there right now. Thornton did everything that he could, but just couldn't handle Wiggins. Picked up his 4th foul.
Thornton's going to give you everything he has, but obviously it comes to a point, size and talent.
And it looks like right now Wiggins is looking for somebody to cover. He's on Suleiman at this end. We'll see who covers him at the other end. Suleiman a little shake and bake. Won't go. And the rebound down to Kansas. They're looking to push.
Well, Wiggins did a poor job defensively. He went what we call 4th man instead of getting over the top of that screen.
And Wiggins spins and draws another foul. College basketball is back next Tuesday night with a Journey to the Tourney matchup as the Memphis Tigers take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys, number 13 and number 8, Tuesday at 8 right here on ESPN.
Memphis got some talent down here. They got a tremendous perimeter game. Then they got a great break when Dixon got eligible as well.
Yeah.
Kid from out of Missouri.
Yeah, terrific player from Missouri a couple of years ago.
Should have a big year down in Memphis.
Wiggins makes them both, and Kansas back on top. First game tonight, Michigan State beat Kentucky 78-74, and this one even closer, 68-67 Jayhawks with 7:23 to go. That's the 17th lead change. Jefferson's heading to the free throw line.
Well, Jefferson did a great job. He's laid the screen and then he slid right to the goal.
And Dick, that is the 4th on Wiggins. Ignore the block up top. The foul is there on the body with Wiggins.
That was Embiid rotating over.
And now what's Bill Self going to do? Frank Mason is getting ready to check in.
He's got to take him out.
And he is going to take Wiggins out.
He's got to take him out. See, I personally believe, okay, with the way they're calling fouls, I put this on Twitter today, and a lot of people agreed with me. If you go to Twitter/DickieV, I had it up there, Dan Sherman.
Yes, sir, I'm listening.
I really believe that they should expand to 6 for disqualification. I think 5. People pay to come to see Wiggins play. People come to see the stars, not to see him on a sideline because for a whistle here and there. Bottom line is the game has gotten quicker, the bodies are bigger, the bodies are stronger, so why not go up 1 and make it 6?
Embiid, and he draws the foul, and will shoot a couple. Bill Self was really hollering at one of the officials after that block call on Andrew Wiggins. He felt Wiggins held his ground. He felt his arms were straight up and down, and he is still working him over on this end of the court.
Well, he thought principle of verticality. But I really believe that. I also believe that we should have a shot clock the same as the women's game. 30 seconds.
I agree with that.
Not 35.
100%.
30,
yeah.
But we get egos involved in making rules, and their egos say, well, we're not going to do what they do. Why not take the best and make it the best? And I promise I will not set up on alternate possessions. I promise tonight. I'll save that for next game.
All right. I know where you stand on that one. 3rd foul on Parker. Embiid missed the 1st. And the 2nd.
He's a real project. There's no question. He's going to get in every day with the coaches, work on post moves inside, drop steps, agility. But he's got things you cannot teach. That size, mobility.
Turnover. Tharp. And a collision will give it to Duke.
I thought the foul was on Duke there.
Listen to the KU fans, so they're going to overturn it. They're going to overturn it and give the ball to Kansas.
They made the right call.
Yeah, I think so. And Brian Kersey coming in. Good job by the officials to get together and make sure they get it right.
I think they've done a good job here tonight, these 3. Really.
How long does Bill Self go with Wiggins on the bench? Kansas up by 1, 6:40 to go.
I think he waits to the 4-minute mark.
Tharp. Mason looking in for Ellis, and a push in the back, and Hood saying what I do, but as we've talked about, you have your hands on somebody when the ball comes into them, you're going to get called.
Absolutely.
3rd on Hood. And you can see, and this has become commonplace, double bonus. Each team's committed at least 10 fouls, so a lot of free throws the rest of the way.
That's why teams have to really work that much harder on the free throw line. every day in practice now. It's got to become vital. So many games are going to be determined by going to that charity stripe.
Three-point lead.
How impressive has he been? Mr. Ellis has been a star of stars for Kansas.
And now Mason called for the foul.
See, right now, Bill Self will play the scoreboard in relationship to Wiggins. As long as he's in command, he's sitting. If they were down, he's on the floor. Love his disposition. I really do. Played a little scrimmage, his first appearance in Kansas. They had thousands came out to see him in June.
A ton of hype. I mean, on the cover of every preseason magazine, it seems, picked as a preseason All-American by the Associated Press. Only the second time that's ever happened. Harrison Barnes had that same honor 3 years ago.
I like what Bill Self told me before the game. He said, you know, we talked about that. He said, part of being a star is able to handle it. All the great ones have that. The LeBron and all those guys, they have it. And please don't compare him to LeBron. LeBron's a whole completely different player.
Yeah.
Different player totally. In fact, don't compare anybody to LeBron. He's in another world. In another world.
Timeout taken by Duke with a 1-point deficit. 6:24 to go in the second half here at the United Center in Chicago. College basketball continues on Sunday. And you'll be there for this first game. Michigan and Iowa State beginning at 5 Eastern time, and then Robert Morris taking on Kentucky at 7 Eastern. Both games coming your way on ESPN2.
I'll be working with Davey O'Brien. I know all about the Boston Red Sox. At least my Rays. That took the world champs to beat them.
I heard a story that you had a picture taken. I don't know if you tweeted it or where it was, of you wearing a Red Sox cap. Is that true?
That's true, you know, because let me tell you this. I'm an American League fan. So once my Rays were out, I had to cheer for the Red Sox. What's wrong with that?
That was a better answer than I thought I was going to get at.
Well, I'm an American League fan.
You saved that one pretty well.
I had some guys on Twitter burying me. Saying, how could you leave our Rays? I didn't leave the Rays. The Rays were home. So I like Poppy and company. All right, let's get down to the game here.
Selden to a wide-open Mason. Mason going inside again.
That's his game. Attack the rim, attack the rim. He knows his strength. His strength is not shooting the jump shot. So he bypassed an open jumper to take it to the goal.
And again, if you're a driver with the way that the fouls are being called right now, you've got an advantage. Parker drives and hits.
Parker showing again his versatility. They went through a little period of time here where he's been really quiet.
Still 25 points and 8 rebounds. Mason driving again.
Mason getting a lot of playing time. He's an attacker.
3 freshmen in the game right now for Kansas. None of them named Andrew Wiggins. Embiid for 3.
Surprised he's getting a lot of key minutes. Crunch time.
.5:15 to go. Duke looking for the lead again.
I think if Duke scores, you see Wiggins come off the bench.
Parker. Duke leads.
I think you got to see Wiggins come off the bench. Get a timeout. Parker likes the big moment, doesn't he? I mean, they were in trouble in the first half, and he went really bananas, knocking down 4 threes. Take a look at great head fake, catch the ball, triple threat position. Defense reacts to you. You take the first step, and you go to the goal. Now watch this. Now he stops, shoots the little jumper.
Boy, is he fundamentally sound.
Absolutely. So skilled. So skilled. I thought the same with Randall in their first game about fundamentals. Head fakes, a lot of drop steps.
First time that a Duke freshman has had 20 or more points in his first 2 games since Lou Aldang, who's here in the building tonight, did it 10 years ago. Parker with 22 against Davidson and 27 and counting tonight against Kansas.
They've had some great players wear a Duke uniform, and you can rest assured he's going to be one of those guys joining that class.
Grant Hill's one of them. He's in the building.
Yeah, he's in the
there
building.
He is.
That's a Grant class personified. I mean, had he not had a few injuries there, you're looking at a guy. Look at this on a phone.
Carlos Boozer.
Carlos Boozer's on a phone. Come on, look at this. He's working that cell phone. Carlos.
And Dick, as you speculated, Andrew Wiggins, there's Lou Aldang. Andrew Wiggins is back in the game. Parker is guarding him. 5 minutes to go. 1-point game.
Got to bring him on the floor. What a matchup right there. Number 1 against number 2 on a high school level. Wiggins wants the ball.
Down in the post.
He wants the ball against the strength of Parker.
Tharp drives and draws the foul. When somebody puts it on the floor against you, it's just so hard not to foul. Guys are moving their feet, but if they just reach out at all, any contact with an arm or a hand, they blow the whistle. Yeah. And it's not like this is a surprise to anybody. I mean, John Adams, the supervisor, director of officiating for the NCAA, I mean, they put this in early, and every practice you've gone to, every game you see, the coaches are working on this. They are preaching to their players how you have to play defense differently, and it's all to, the intent is not to make it a free throw shooting contest. The intent is for players to adjust and bring back the fluidity and the freedom of movement to the game.
Absolutely. And I think you're going to see it happen. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. Well, I like the challenge right there of Parker wanting to guard Wiggins, and I like Wiggins wanting the basketball. Incredible game for this early in the year. Really is. When you look at teams with such a change in their lineup, so many new players, both clubs. Free throw line could be big coming down the stretch, Dan Sherman. Here we go. A lot of pride at stake. A lot of pride at stake.
Parker over Ellis. And a Duke foul.
On Wiggins.
No, Hood committing the foul.
On Wiggins, I think.
Number 4 on Hood.
I mean, let's face it, right now, when you talk about what's at stake, I mean, a lot of pride. I mean, it's not going to hurt a club losing now at all. Not at all. But you have pride. I mean, you're wearing that uniform in Kansas. You represent a lot of players that played years and years ago.
Yep.
Same with Duke. Tradition.
Selden at the line.
Selden, Mason, they're going to be solid players. Ellis has elevated his game big time. Can Oklahoma State, are they going to be good enough to stop that 9 years of winning the Big 12?
3-point game. Suleiman the drive. Banks it home and a foul.
Terrific play right there by Suleiman. He's got offensive skills. He really does. He can shoot the ball. He can take it to the rim.
You know, another thing people have wondered about with fouls being called the way they are is if, with everybody in drive mode, will a lot of teams go to zone? If you get in foul trouble, just to stay out of foul trouble, will more teams play zone than ever before?
That's a great point, Dan. I was going to mention that. That's a great point. I think you got to utilize the zone a little bit more to negate that driving ability. Keep people out of foul trouble. It's pretty tough for coaches when they really live with the man-to-man, like you look at Duke and Kansas, to make that. But I think it's got to be part of your defensive system. Hoods now with 4 fouls playing Wiggins.
Ellis, and he draws the foul. Well, it seems like it's been about 10 trips in a row where we've had some free throws, and Ellis is shaken up. It's the 4th foul on Parker. And you're hoping it's just a cramp or something for Perry Ellis.
The way they're treating it, you think it's a cramp. Maybe he's driving to the basket.
Can he stay in the game and shoot his free throws?
Seems that he's stretching, getting a little flexibility.
There's a timeout coming shortly. The first whistle under 4 minutes will be immediate timeout. Ellis will stay to shoot the free throws. Ooh. You don't see that every day.
He doesn't want to see it every day.
No. And Traylor's getting ready to check in, presumably for Ellis at some point. And that point is now. So he makes 1 of 2, and Traylor takes his place.
Spoke to Bill Self a little bit about, you know, the debut, for example, of Wilt Chamberlain when he played at Kansas. He said, it's not going to happen for Mr. Wiggins. 51 and 31 in his debut. Built the stump.
Meanwhile, Wiggins has 4. Parker has 4. Suleiman with a turnaround, and the game is tied again.
I'll tell you, Suleiman has really stepped up the last 2 possessions. He's been their offensive guy. He demonstrated a little bit of that last year. He was a little up and down.
Wiggins down in the post again. Hood defending him. Hood's got 4 fouls.
They double up on him.
Selden muscles his way in and will shoot a couple.
He gets bumped on a drive. This game is coming down to who's going to make free throws at the end of the game, baby.
Some foul trouble in the first half, has played more and better in the second half. 16 points, 8 rebounds. Jabari Parker, 27 points and 9 rebounds tonight for Duke. Both of them have 4 fouls with 3:26 to go. Selden at the line.
Look at Kansas right now. They're 19 for 25 on the line. Duke is 16 for 28.
Kansas by 2. Mentioned Parker and Wiggins have 4. Traylor, in addition, has 4. And for Duke, Thornton is fouled out already. And Hood's got 4 as well. Hood driving. Can't finish. Jefferson can.
Tell you one thing, Jefferson just doing a great job on the offensive boards. Actually, Kansas has dominated the glass here tonight.
Just the 4th offensive rebound of the night for the Blue Devils.
Okay, Kansas has been stronger on the glass.
Look at Mason. And tipped in by Selden.
Tell Selden with that great body again, gets to the inside. A great tip.
Boy, has he had a good night.
Yes, he has. What a great, unbelievable. 4 great teams early in the season. And here we're going down to the wire.
Suleiman, short.
Shot selection so big now. 2 factors big coming down the stretch. Shot selection and making free throws.
Ellis, and it looks like it was just a cramp. He's set to check back into the next opportunity for the Jayhawks.
They use that high screen well. They try to reverse the ball.
Wiggins down in the post again.
He really loves down in that box. He wants the ball in the post.
Traylor takes advantage of all the attention they were paying to Wiggins.
He's a Chicago kid. Very athletic. Not really skilled offensively, but he showed a nice move there to the basket.
Good defense by Traylor there. Now the drive by Suleiman. Yes.
Tell you, they haven't been able to contain Suleiman late in the game here. He has been a major factor.
Suleiman now with 13 in the game, 10 of them here in the second half, and it's a 2-point lead for Kansas with 1:51 to go.
What a way for basketball to start, huh?
Great.
Isn't this unbelievable?
Yep.
These Goliaths hooking up. Unbelievable. What a great way. That's Suleiman taking the ball to the goal. Now you're going to watch Traylor. 4 fouls he has, but he's explosive. There he is with that great step to the goal. Wiggins has to learn a little bit more the art of how to get free. Number 2, right. They were favored.
And at this point, let's be honest, 1, 2, 4, 5.
Right, exactly.
It's early. It doesn't mean all that much. We all know they're all great teams.
It means something in football, but not in basketball right now. That's why in football you get ready for Alabama and Florida State. I know Buckeyes don't want to hear that. Right, here we go. So there's Wiggins standing. It's easy to defend a guy that's stationary. You got to be active. He's got a great first step.
Step back jumper. Yes!
He's got a great first step. When he makes the shot consistently, the jump shot, and let me tell you, guy that played here, and they got a statue for him, Michael Jordan, he worked on improving his shot.
There he goes!
There he was in transition. They're dancing, baby. They're dancing. Jayhawks love that. That's Mr. Wiggins at his best. At his best. Oh, they're going to love him. Allen Fieldhouse. If he makes the step-back jump shot to go with his first step, it is lights out. It is lights out, baby. Love him. King Andrew. There goes King Andrew. Rock chalk Jayhawk land.
And that play fouled Jabari Parker out of the game as well. So what a sequence there for the Jayhawks.
You know, when you think about it and watching the game, he is a quiet 20. I mean, really. when you think about it.
Well, 4 or 6 of them were noisy. Really noisy. But I know what you mean. Jabari Parker fouls out. Great night for him with 27 and 9. Kansas gets the ball back. 0-2 so far in this Classic. They lost each of the last 2 years. Duke won each of the last 2 years. So Bill Self looking better and better to pick up his first win in this tournament. And there's a foul on Suleiman, and more free throws coming for KU.
2 quality basketball teams, 2 quality coaches, quality players. These clubs are going to have big years again. I mean, every year they're at the 30 mark, 28, 30 wins a year. It'll be no different this year.
At the line, Nadir Tharp.
And they got a secret lethal weapon that's going to get better and better and better in the kid Embiid.
Saw bursts of that here tonight.
I watched a little bit of that with Olajuwon. I did his very first game when I was inducted in the Hall of Fame. So was Akeem. And we talked about how we met in the elevator. And he was down. I did his very first game like this over in, well, he played with his first big-time game on television in New Orleans. And we went on the elevator, and you could see he was down. I said, son, smile. You are going to be special.
And wasn't he? Cook lays it in. 5-point game at a timeout taken by Mike Krzyzewski. His last timeout now with less than a minute to go.
I'll tell you right now, this game's not over yet. Not with 55 seconds on the clock and with a 3-point shot. Got to make some good defensive plays, though. And now it's a little tougher because of the way they blow the whistle for the foul situation.
Well, a 5-point lead for Kansas, and really a couple of the biggest baskets of the game at a key point came from Andrew Wiggins just in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, he really made a couple of great plays. There he is right there with a score. Here's the catch and transition. I thought the step-back jump shot was big. Shows his ability in transition. We talked about it. He can run, man. He can run, baby, run.
And he can fly, too.
He can fly. He can rise, too. I thought that step-back jump shot was big.
Yep. And you don't see him often show a lot of emotion, but after that last dunk, you saw a lot of it. Yep.
Now he feels good. But I think a little bit was weighing on his mind that he wasn't playing as well as he'd like early.
Yep. Well, the 3 highest profile freshmen in Chicago tonight, and Julius Randle, Jabari Parker, and Andrew Wiggins, all of them 20 or more points.
Well, let me just say this. Dr. V, I'm going to give out my Dr. V grades. They get A+, man, those 3 kids. A+.
Duke will make Kansas make free throws to salt it away.
You see the bounce in his step right now. You watch Wiggins, the way he's strutting. He's got that swag, man. He's got that swag as he's sliding and gliding all over the court because he knows he smells the W. Both these teams are really going to be explosive offensively as well. Their fans are going to have a lot to cheer about.
Cook a little out of control. Kansas ball. And Suleiman grabs Wiggins.
Got that head up right now. It's like a thoroughbred, man. You see, like Secretariat. When Secretariat used to go visit Secretariat at the farms down there, Secretariat knew, there was a star.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk having some fun. We mentioned it appears more fans were here for Kansas than any of the other 3 schools, and they are on the verge of a celebration.
And one of the reasons they're here, right there. Right there. One of the reasons I was pumped up all day is right there. And normally I'm very shy and introverted.
Understated, yeah.
No problem sending out tweets here today. No, I'm in this bill. I could send out my tweets with pictures. I had a picture of you. I wanted to send a tweet.
22 now for Wiggins. Hood has it taken away. Shot clock's turned off. And Kansas is going to beat Duke. Murphy fouls Mason to prolong it. But in a game that was back and forth and within a point or two seemingly most of the night, you saw Bill Self there, just a little wink. Didn't want to give too much away too early. Still 28 seconds left. A game effort by Jabari Parker with 27 points tonight. But it looks like Andrew Wiggins and the Jayhawks will emerge victorious.
Well, Jabari was certainly terrific, and Duke, as we know, is going to get better and better.
It wasn't just Wiggins, though. Mason had a very good night. Selden had a very good night. Ellis had a very good night.
Well, I think we made that point earlier in the telecast that both these clubs are not just Parker and Wiggins. There are other parts, both of them. Both of them have some quality players around them.
The final score will not be indicative of how close this game was most of the night.
Great win for the Jayhawks. Great win this early in the season. And also for Duke, sometimes when you lose like this, you get the attention of your players. You get them to understand they have a lot more work to do. And that's what's good about games like this. You find out strengths, you find out weaknesses.
The game was tied at 79 with 2:50 left. Kansas outscoring Duke 15-4 down the home stretch to win 94-83.
Well, now we go to Steve and Scott, and they'll tell the world about it. They do a great job at the Sports Center. As Bill Self, Hall of Famer. No doubt about it, he will be in the Hall of Fame.
So Kansas goes to 2-0. Duke drops to 1-1. Michigan State and Kansas are the two victorious teams here in the State Farm Champions Classic. Just a great event. We can't wait to do it again next year in Indianapolis, but we got a whole lot of fun coming our way as the college basketball season has now kicked off in earnest, my friend.
It's time to work, man.
Yeah.
It's time to earn some money. Have some fun. I can't wait to get to Iowa State. All you people, I can't wait to get there Sunday.
94-83.